She can do almost anything she puts her mind to. She can swim the deepest ocean and climb the highest peak. She can face adversity and still walk dauntless. She is strong, beautiful, compassionate, and much more than the words would ever say. Who is she? She is a woman of substance. Happy Women's Day to all beautiful ladies here. Today is 8th March, International Women's Day, and we have a special guest here, Ms. Monica Jaiswal, Principal of SVM and educator. Myself, I am Dr. Shivani. Welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of Lions Club of Ratnagiri.
Thank you so much. I think it's an honor for me to be here today on this platform. And I have seen that Lions Club Ratnagiri is doing a great work. Yes. So congratulations to all of you. Keep doing the good work for the society, and all the very best. I'm really feeling honored to be here on this
Thank
day.
you, ma'am. I'll give her short introduction. Monica ma'am has done her MA in English Literature. She has done her B.Ed, MBA in HR, post-graduation diploma in School Leadership and Management. She is CTET qualified. She is serving education industry for last 23 years. She is teacher trainer at early years, school best practices, NCF, theme based and subject integrated curriculum. So here I am very proud to introduce Ms. Monica Jaiswal. Ma'am, on this special occasion, this is a special day. What message would you like to give to all our audience?
Okay. So basically, I'd like to dedicate a poem to all the strong women and women of strength sitting in front of me. This poem is basically composed by Lavida Harris, and this is how the poem goes about. A strong woman works out every day to keep her body in shape, but a woman of strength builds relationships to keep her soul in shape. A strong woman isn't afraid of anything, but a woman of strength shows courage in the midst of her fear. A strong woman won't let anyone get the best of her, but a woman of strength gives the best of herself to everyone. A strong woman makes mistakes and avoids the same in future. A woman of strength realizes that life's mistakes can also be unexpected blessings and capitalizes on them. A strong woman wears a look of confidence on her face, but a woman of strength wears grace. A strong woman has faith that she is strong enough for the journey, but a woman of strength has faith that it is in the journey that she will become strong. Thank you so much, and happy Women's Day to each and everyone here.
Thank you, ma'am. Really nice poem, and this is a good message to our audience also.
Yes.
In short, if you can share both your personal and professional journey with us.
Yes, definitely. Basically, when I talk about my personal journey and my professional journey, let me begin with my journey as a child, as a daughter first. So, I have been raised in a humble middle class family, and I'll give a lot of credit to my parents for having so much faith in me. Bringing me up like any child and they prioritizes my education a lot. So the entire emphasis was to give the best of education. So I feel privileged in that manner. Coming from a daughter, and when we get married and we go into another house. So as a daughter-in-law also, I got a very good mother-in-law. So I learnt both from my mother as well as my mother-in-law. I give huge credit to these two women in my life, and as a wife I got a lot of support from my husband, and it's because of them, the family, that I'm here today working out of the house. I'm basically from Indore, but still coming on 900 kilometers away and working here isn't easy.
Yeah.
And then as a mother, I have always felt that how much you can give to your children. So I have always tried and made my both children independent. I have never forced discipline on them. I have always encouraged them to make their own decisions. Yeah. Of course, I have always been on their side whenever they needed me. But like my son is a software engineer and my daughter wanted to take humanities. So it was not like I being in education department, education, this industry, I would say, no, you need to take science and maths only. So whatever choice they wanted for choice of subject, I never forced them.
Yeah.
So I think these are the ways, different roles we play as a women.
Yeah.
And it's important that we handle all these roles very maturely and gracefully. Talking about my professional journey, I started my career as a teacher, and from a teacher, from a primary teacher, I've taught in pre-primary classes also. Then slowly and gradually taking different roles of coordinator, then HM, then vice principal, and now working as a principal. I've seen hundreds of my students who are now doing very good in their career. And they've made career in different areas. When you are in school, you see in your class of 30, there are all types of learners. Some of them are very good in activities and co-curriculars. Some of them are very good in academics, in sports. So we need to nurture. I know the naughtiest child in my class now is a very good businessman. Oh. Some of them are CA, and the good thing is that they're in touch.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Yes.
Wow, man, great to know all about your journey and upbringing regarding your son and daughter also.
Yes.
You are really playing a great job and multitasking jobs. Yes. And I will move to our next question. What are the 3 important aspects of education which you consider the topmost?
Basically, if I talk about the 3 aspects, the first and the foremost is child-centric and child-sensitive education. I think it's important for us to understand that, in this world of cutthroat competition, where we are just worried about their marks. Yeah. So we need to understand that learning is for life. It's not only for marks. Everything will happen over a time, but we need to prepare the child for life, what they have to face ahead. And this is where the child-centric education means that of very nice blend of being firm and friendly with the child.
Yeah.
And making them, giving them reasons, enough of reasons to do this. Second important aspect, I think there needs to be a right balance of academics. There needs to be a right balance of co-curricular as well. Along with right balance of academics and co-curricular, we need to focus a lot on the humane curriculum. Yeah. Now, what is a humane curriculum? Nobody talks about humane curriculum. Humane curriculum actually focuses on the social and emotional aspect of the child.
Yeah.
The child needs to be emotionally stable. Nowadays, we see that they are emotionally weak and they end up doing wrong things in life which they should not do.
Yeah.
That's the reason talking to them, making them aware, treating them as adults is very important. And third thing, education needs to be forward looking. It needs to be progressive in nature. Now we cannot have rigid mindsets, that पढ़ाई ऐसे ही होती है, exams ऐसे ही होती है. No, we need to see that now the child today, the child who is in nursery, when they pass out after 15 years, the world will be entirely different.
Yeah.
So are we preparing them for the future, or we are doing 10 years back or 20 years old curriculum with them? Oh. So that is where it's very important for education to be progressive in nature.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes.
Very well explained, ma'am. You elaborated the aspects in very simple yet thoughtful manner. And as you said, education should not be only for marks.
Yes.
Because now decade is considered only of 5 years.
Yes.
Like as you said, nursery wala bacha after 15 years the things will change. Yes. Totally change.
Yes.
So
there is a research, Dr. Shivani, which says that in 2010 the 10 topmost jobs did not exist in 2004. Yes. So the world is changing so fast and so swiftly, and where are we? Every 6 months our mobile gets outdated and a new technology comes in. So that is where we need to prepare them more for skills.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
A skill-based education.
Skill-based education, definitely.
As a school leader, what are your thoughts and beliefs? What you would like to share today on this forum?
Okay, so being a school leader, it has been a great learning opportunity to work with team, So first of all, when we talk about school, a school is not only run by a principal or teacher, or it's a combined effort of everyone. So at SVM, we especially believe in be more. Yeah. So being more in your individual capacities, whether you are a Didi, where you are a lady attendant, where you are whether you are a teacher. So I have a very good and strong team of teachers. Whether, I mean, in all capacities, the learners, they also need to be, the school managements need to be very open. So I think it's about being more in each of the capacities. Next is, breaking the boundaries and forming a union of all the stakeholders. What happens generally is that in school, amongst parents and the school, it's like a, blame game. Parents will blame the school or the teacher, and the teachers will say, they don't do anything at home. How long can we fight over this? I think it's important to work as partners and bring out the best in our children. That is there. Third thing, if I talk about, there is a lot of importance. What I give as a school leader is to the healthy and happy work culture. Yeah. So I have spent a lot of time training the team in a manner that we work on the culture of the school. We have done a lot of training around building culture. So we had a life journey session, we had a core values session, we had a physical outbound session where all the teachers went out and they did lot of team building games. Yeah. We did the psychometric tests. So all these kind of things were done to make a healthy culture. And then there are a lot of opportunities where we treat teachers as partners, yeah, and not teachers as workers. Oh. So then we get a lot of ownership from their side. And last but not the least, it's very important to embrace change, to be adaptable to whatever new is coming, and welcoming change. Now this time of pandemic has proved, yeah, suddenly the entire world has gone for a 360-degree shift. Yeah. So entire school came into mobile. Yeah. So if we have two choices: either we get scared and we find ourselves not prepared, yeah, or we take it as a challenge and we embrace it, we learn from it, and we find opportunities in challenges. Yeah. I think these things are very important. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Very well said. Like we have to see for the opportunities in the challenges. And pandemic has, yes, taught us the same thing.
Yes, yes.
Well explained, ma'am. I think these views will be of great help to all of us.
Thank you so much.
Moving to next question. How do you see the growing role of science and technology in today's education system?
Yes, definitely. Now it has become a part and parcel of our everyday life. If you give a mobile to a child who's 2 years old, yeah, they know how to operate it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like a toy in their hand. Okay. So of course we need to accept and embrace science and technology also. At the same time, we need to see that we are not overdoing that. Oh. Because I personally feel that technology, of course, it has its own value and place. And when we are talking about the age of AI, that is artificial intelligence, and everything being done by robots. Yeah. So, of course, it has a very important role to play. At SVM, we are very well prepared. We are coming up with a full-fledged robotics lab, yeah, so that children can learn about how to create their own robots and how to solve problems. Basically, using technology for problem solving. Yeah. That is important. At the same time, it's important to balance it with nature and environmental related aspects also. Yeah. So that is the importance of science and technology. What I feel, we cannot do away with it. Yeah. But yes, we use it wisely. That is more important.
Yeah, yeah. Very exciting to know about SVM's robotic lab, and I think this is the first lab in Konkan.
Yes. It's the first of its kind lab, and we'll be inviting other schools also for participating. Our children will be participating in a lot of competitions around the robotic labs, and children learn it very fast. They are very good at gadgets. Yeah. So whatever they are good at, and if we at SVM can provide for it, why not? So that's one of our initiative that we are coming up with this year.
Children are very good at gadgets. Because if I come up with a new mobile, my son knows better than me how to open. He teaches me what to do with all this. Because they are fast, and this robotic lab, many more learners will take advantage of it. Thank you SVM for initiating all this.
Thank you so much.
It is said that all work and no play makes a Jack a dull boy. How much importance do you think we need to give to co-curricular subjects like dance, sports, music, craft? What do you think?
Let me tell you that in many places it's called as extracurricular. But we call it co-curricular because it goes hand in hand. Okay, when you say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, I keep saying parents, whenever I meet parents, I keep saying them that when your child reaches home and even when they are in school, they should have at least 3 to 4 periods of sports in a week. And also at home, child should for at least 1 hour do a lot of physical work, whether it's cycling, whether it's playing football, it's running, any game, but it's important. So at SVM, we have, as you must be aware of, we have our value partners. So IoT is one of the value partners. We have the Badminton Academy, where children after school also of other places come there. We have our in-house sports at place. We have ACE Sports Edu, and Fatima Agarkar ma'am is our academic partner also, and they guide us for sports related activities also. So definitely it's our core belief, and I've heard Arjun sir saying many a times, children should only not aspire for 90-95% in board. Other things also matter. So they should be good sportsmen, they should be good dancer, they should be good musician. So we have the best of faculties in all these fields. From wherever we have got pan India, we have tried to bring the best brains to SVM in that regard.
Regarding music also, yoga?
Music also, we have Jared sir, and he's very good at music, as well as I think language can be learned through songs also. So that is what we are attempting at SVM, to teach English through songs. And when there is a rhythm, the children's brain is wired in such a manner that they catch rhythm very quickly. So we are using that as a means of teaching. Now my teachers are all working on mapping the NCERT curriculum with integration of art, sports, music, dance. So the curricular teachers and co-curricular teachers, they are sitting together and they are saying, okay, that now with measurement, maths can be done with sports. So they'll take them on ground. There are a few topics where integers go with music. So that will be done with music. There are a few topics like in history which can be done in art, with art and craft. So Kiran ma'am and Yogesh sir both will be taking the topic together. So this is how we are trying to integrate, because life is not like that. Life cannot be divided into compartments. It's a free flow. So then why do we need to compartmentalize subjects? That is there.
Like with practical things.
You lot of
give more emphasis on the practical
aspect.
And nowadays children are tending more to use mobile phones and mobile games and all. So it's really great to know you guys at SVM are focusing on this dance, music, sports and all. And you're providing these facilities to your learners also. And you have the latest internationally approved badminton courts also. Happy to know all about that. And really we are grateful to SVM for providing such facilities. Can you throw some light on the importance of multilingualism?
Yes, definitely. See, basically multilingualism means that you are very comfortable with more than one language. Now like when we are in Maharashtra, most of our first language is Marathi. So we value Marathi a lot, and even NEP says that the first language which even the child learns at school should be the mother tongue. So it's very good, and we have huge respect for mother tongue, and we have huge respect for Marathi. But at the same time, now we are living in a global world. So when we are living in a global world, the child in Maharashtra can go and work anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
in India also.
Yeah.
So multilingualism is a boon. The child can know Marathi, the child can know Hindi, the child can know English, the child can know Spanish. So at SVM we are also trying to bring in foreign language this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So let's see whether it will be Spanish or French, but in any one language. Children, like now I am in Maharashtra, I am basically a native of Madhya Pradesh, so we
Yeah.
speak in Hindi,
Yeah.
but I understand Marathi. So
Yeah.
if I would not have understood Marathi, it would have been difficult for me to work here.
Yeah.
So that's the reason children need to be nurtured with multilingual abilities, and they have. Research says that by the age of 8 years or 10 years, the child is capable of learning 8 different languages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they pick up very fast, and language learning is a very natural process.
Yeah.
You can do it effortlessly. The only thing is you need to expose the child to a variety of language.
Yeah.
Then it happens automatically.
Yeah.
So, I think that is where the role of multilingualism, it's a boon, and it's very much the need of the future.
Yeah. Now many children, like my elder son, is also learning German.
Yes.
Because these languages are very needed for engineers also.
Yes.
Because if they want to do any career in, if he is doing mechanical engineering, so he has to learn German. If he is he has given some exams in German, so
Yes.
that is more important for
Yes,
them.
yes. So that is a need also for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is really important to learn many languages, and that improves their networking also.
Yes, it
and enhances multitasking ability. There are more chances for the professional career also.
Yes.
If they are knowing more languages.
Of course,
Yeah.
it helps a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a lot, definitely.
And one more thing, your partly thoughts which you would like to share with our parents, fellow educators, fellow working women on this FB Live show.
Okay, so first of all, if I talk about my parting thoughts, the first thing is raise your children in a manner that they believe in gender equality. See, even if we go back to the roots, our Indian mythology, we talk about the various forms of Shiva, and one of the forms of Shiva is Ardhanarishwar.
Yeah.
You know, so it is said that every man has a woman and every woman has a man.
Yeah.
So I think gender equality is what we need to focus upon. Raising children both at home and in school with gender equality is very important. Otherwise, after a decade, we'll be talking about this and it will be too late.
Yeah.
So first of all, a child should be taught to respect the females at home, whether they are their sisters or their mother or any other relative or even the housemaid which is there in the house.
Yeah.
So first it begins at home. It should be nurtured in school as well, because in SVM what we do when we have social science, when we are taking civics or political science, what we call it, there are a lot of chapters on gender equality and all those things, and we do a lot of projects, surveys, and we emphasize that yes, in real life context, how can we teach gender equality to the children? So first of all, that is important. Second thing is, when it comes to education, I feel I have one message for parents. Often at early age, parents feel that अभी तो मेरा बच्चा 2 साल का है, कहीं भी पास के प्ले स्कूल में डाल देते हैं, घर के पास है, फीस भी कम है. But I think from nursery to grade 2, that's the most crucial time of a child's learning. And if you waste it by sending your child anywhere and not in the right kind of environment, the child loses a lot. And then when they come in grade 3 and above, the gap widens. So I think we need to prioritize our child's education. We need to focus a lot on quality education. And I think it is said that investment in your child's education pays you best dividends. So it's like a 15-year of investment in your child's education, which is very important. Hence, choosing the right school, the right curriculum, the right board for your child is very important. Apart from all these things, when you talk about the fellow educators, I just have one message for all the teachers who are right now in this attending this program, that teaching is a very noble profession, and it will remain a noble profession till students and teacher relationship exist. and it shouldn't be considered as a job of 8 to 3. It needs to be taken as a passion. So when you convert your passion into your profession, you'll enjoy working. I also feel that, you know, parents with so much of faith and trust send their children to the teachers.
Yeah.
So I think teachers play a very, very important role. They are called as brain architects.
Yeah.
So they have huge responsibility on molding the child and raising children in a holistic manner. So their role is very important. And somehow when we only talk about women empowerment and these things, I think when we talk about working women, I think it's very important to understand and see it from a different angle. And that angle is, nobody questions a working man. Okay, then why do we pay so much of emphasis on working women? It's an equal role, equal opportunity, and if you go by the statistics around us in society, we see that the best of chefs are men, the best of fashion designers are men, and the women nowadays, they are in Air Force, they are flying fighter planes. And they have also stepped onto moon and space. So what are we here talking about, that why Women's Day is important? Of course it's important because there are a lot of women who are deprived of their basic rights. So there the women needs to be very strong and stand for it. But our attitude needs to be changed. Today also in the morning I was telling to my team that Women's Day and Men's Day both holds equal responsibility because we complement each other. We are the two halves which make one full so that's why it's very important. So I think that is what I would like to say as my parting thoughts today.
And as you said, parents they should not run only after marks. They should give importance to the values, what children they are learning. And children also, they have got more faith in their teachers more than parents. Because if we tell them this is the method to do, they'll tell us no, my teacher has taught this and I'm going to follow the way she taught.
I think it's a beautiful relation which teachers have with their students.
And as you said, truly said, like men and women, they play the same role they are playing. And I think the role of working woman is more tougher.
Of course.
Because in previous days, like old days, those women, they have to look after the house and all. And now we have to do everything. Look after the children. Then as a doctor, I have to look after my clinic. Everything. So I think working women, they have got more tougher jobs.
I know. I understand, but I also feel that it makes us more efficient.
Of course.
And more work smart. So even I wake up in the morning early at 5:30. I have to do my, I have to do my cooking, packing my tiffins, taking it to school, then whole day, then coming back home again cooking, and all those daily chores. Of course, they are a part of our life. But yes, salute to all those women who are striving so hard and making a mark for themselves in the society.
We are efficient, and that's why our husbands also they are like emphasizing you do this, you do that.
Now tell me, Dr. Shivani, if your father would not have trusted you, if he would not have encouraged you to be a doctor, if your father-in-law, if your husband, if your sons would not have supported you, would life be easy for you?
No, I won't. I could not practice without their support. As you said, my mother-in-law, she also helped me a lot. Because when my sons were very young, she looked after them. She's not here, like she expired last year. But she played a very important role in my life. Because she looked after them, that's why she said, you look after the practice, I will look after your sons.
I think the similar support I've got from my mother-in-law also. So, I mean, both my mother and my mother-in-law both are equally dear to me. Even my mother-in-law is no more. But I have huge respect for the entire family.
And she too was a doctor, so she was knowing what are the problems, what problems she faced. And she too had a mother-in-law. She also looked after.
Very nice, so nice. So it's what you give, Mostly it's shown on television and movies. that
Maybe in serials.
women against women.
Yeah.
Why? I think
It
these
is not
kind
true
of,
every time.
it needs to change.
Yeah.
It's not like that. We stand in each other's support also.
Yeah.
Why that is not highlighted?
Yeah, yeah.
That needs to be highlighted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Monica ma'am, would you like to put some light on the NEP? NEP.
Yes,
Because parents, they are confused and they don't know ki whether my son, my daughter, she will have SSC exam or she will have directly board exam in the 12th or 10th.
Yes, yes.
From which year is going to start and all.
See, the best thing about NEP is it's a reform which has been brought into as a draft after 34 years.
Yeah.
That is how I am telling, that when it comes to education, how slowly we are progressing.
Yeah.
Wherein the world is going very fast. So NEP has now bring in lot of reforms. It has paid more emphasis on early years also, which was missing earlier. It has categorized education into various phases where each phase has its own importance. But at the same time, they have made 10th board very flexible. Yeah. I think it won't have now much impact. 12th will be the most important class for a child. They have given
From
lot
which
of
year?
no, see, it has to be implemented. Right now it is proposed.
Okay.
Now it may take, and I know I have actually personally known people from NCRT who are working behind it. Okay. So it's like a complete board where the highest of caliber in terms of educationists work together in conformity. And the second thing is it takes time, because if they have to come up with a detailed document, otherwise what will happen, people will implement it as per their understanding. The same happened with CCE, that was continuous and comprehensive evaluation. It was not understood properly, hence it was not implemented properly. Okay. Now the same thing should not happen with NEP. So they'll come up with a detailed program about it. Maybe it may take another 2 years or 3 years. So this year 10th and 12th, maybe it will go as it's going on.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least this year.
Okay.
Let's see what happens in next 2 years.
Next 2 years.
If they work faster on it, maybe it may get implemented before 2 years also.
Yeah. Because parents and children, they are very excited to know.
I know. We are also equally excited because
and it is something new. We had a session with Fatima ma'am regarding NEP.
Yes.
That was truly very nice.
Very nice. And very interesting.
And thank you, ma'am. Very nice to have here, and really your guidance and your thoughts are going to help us a lot. And we are thankful that you came here, you spent time for us.
It's my pleasure also. It's so nice to interact with the people of Ratnagiri on this live forum today. So it's good to know each other, and I would invite the members of Lions Club also to our school. Do visit our school.
Sure.
And it's like, you are also serving community and we are also serving community. So it's good to hold and walk together so that we can impact the society in a better manner.
Today also we had lot of plans regarding Women's Day to felicitate Didis also.
Yes.
But due to this pandemic and some restrictions,
I know.
we couldn't.
But let me tell you, we had a great time in school. All the male staff did a lot of things for us and they made us feel so special. And at last I would also like to share a very good news with everybody here, that today just before 3 hours we also got a news from Delhi that we have got our CBSE affiliation.
Oh wow, that's great news.
Yes, so definitely it's a team effort. Everybody has contributed to it. So it's great news. Now I think there's no looking back for us, and we are wanting to give best to the children of SVM. Hope with everybody's cooperation we'll be able to do it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you
so much. It was very nice being with you, Dr. Shivani.